It's the most ridiculous repair quote you have ever received. I bet this one will make the list. A local shop quoted this customer thousands of dollars to replace a starter motor. The part itself, a couple $100. I figured, how hard can this possibly be? Now, the only problem I see here is that the car is not movable and we cannot bring it inside. Another problem we have is the weather is not looking too good, so we might have to rush this one just so we could beat the rain. Okay, now I'm gonna show you guys the symptoms of a bad starter. Just listen for that one click. The first step is to disconnect the battery. That, it turns out, was the last easy part of this job. To even get a glimpse of the starter, you have to peel back layers of plastic engine shrouding. Once they're off, you realize the problem. You can't actually see the starter. It's buried deep underneath the intake manifold. Now I want to show you guys this clamp for the intake pipe to the throttle body. It is always backwards, so you have to find a good spot pretty much to take the clamp off. A pro tip, you can use any 1/4 inch ratchet with sockets and it will fit perfectly in there for you. Now for the average Joe, this is possible in your driveway, but like I always say, take your time and you will reach your goal. Now next up, you want to remove this strut brace. It will give you more room to remove the intake manifold. Also, there is a crankcase hose that attaches to the valve cover that you want to remove too. Let me remove the top plastic so I can give you guys a better visual of the crankcase hose I'm talking about. To remove the strut brace, the bolt near the wipers is a E18, and then the bolt on the strut tower is a E16. Now the bolts for the plastic engine cover, I usually use a T30. It's easier for me to get it in there with a 1/4 inch ratchet. This crankcase hose was the hose I was talking about earlier. Let me try to get a good visual for you guys. It is a little pickle to get off, but I usually use like a stubby flathead just to peel the sides back and get it off there without it cracking. These hoses are super brittle, so you want to be super careful with these. All right, guys, we are almost there. After you remove this crankcase hose, you can move on to removing all the plugs on the intake manifold and also the bolts that hold the intake manifold to the engine. Okay, remember guys, we are fighting time, so I'm trying to get this done before I get poured on because I already did take a shower this morning and I'm not trying to take another one until later today. Well guys, I do take showers twice a day. I'm just throwing that out there, but I'm just letting you guys know, you know what I mean. As you guys can see, I am fighting for my life here. This thing is taking forever to come off. All these wires, all these connectors, I have to loosen all of them. Now it's time to take it off. Now this is another easy part. Removing these bolts is not too bad. You know, I should have went to 7-Eleven and bought a Slurpee, but that's okay. I usually get my coffee in the morning and a few Gatorades. Now I just want to throw this in here. There are 2 small connectors on the back of the intake manifold. You want to make sure you don't mix those up because once you finish this job, this is a big job. You do not want the check engine light on for you to reverse everything you just did. And there it is, the starter, held on by 2 bolts. The bottom one comes out with much of a fight, but the top bolt, this is the villain of our story. It's installed from the back side of the transmission bell housing, making it completely blind. You have to snake your arm around the engine and just pray your wrench fits its target. But you already know me, guys. We're gonna get this done. Now let's take a moment to see all of the plastics and stuff we had to take off just to get to the starter. Now this battle was victorious, but only one issue. We are only 50% done with this job. All right guys, to take out the starter, a little tight around the starter. So what I usually use is a 10mm ratchet wrench and an 11mm ratchet wrench. You can use the regular inverted sockets as well, but it's just a little tight on top, so I just use these. Now guys, the top bolt was super tight on there. Finally, with a perfectly angled wrench and a surge of desperate hope, it broke loose. The wave of relief was unbelievable. I'm not sure if this was the original starter that came with the car, but I'm gonna say one thing, that starter next to the new one is remarkable. we have reached a point of no return, and now it's time to install the new starter. Well, look at that. The weather literally cleared up and we are halfway done with this job. I'm definitely going to reward myself with some ice cream. Maybe I'll throw some sprinkles on there, but it depends how I feel. Okay, now it's back to grind time. We're gonna put this new starter in and hopefully this car starts up. Getting it apart is only half the battle. Now, everything has to go back together and you're just praying you didn't miss a single connection. You installed the new starter, carefully wrestle the massive intake manifold back into place and reconnect every last plug. At last, it's done. You reconnect the battery, slide into the driver's seat, take a deep breath and turn the key. And there it is. That immediate glorious roar of the engine firing to life, it's the sound of pure victory. It's the sound of thousands of dollars saved. So the real question is, was it a nightmare? Absolutely. But the feeling of conquering a job the engineers clearly didn't want you to do, you just can't buy that. What's the single worst repair you ever tackled? Drop the story in the comments below. If you enjoyed watching my sanity slowly unravel, hit that like button and subscribe for more. If you guys stayed to the end and enjoyed this video, check out these other ones I have here.